Hi, it's Ben from My Cycling Coach. I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, for those of you who don't know who I am the founder of My Cycling Coach, lead sports scientist and coach here, where over the past 5 years now, I have helped over 500 cyclists reach 3 watts per kilo and above as a FTP, if you like. And yeah, if you want to check any of those testimonials out or any of the reviews from some of those 500 cyclists, then please feel free to check out the link below in the description, and you can have a read through and see some of the I'd like to say, yeah, really proud of those some amazing stories from some of the cyclists that we've worked with and really helped achieve their goals and improve their cycling. And on this note today, I really wanted to just do a video and take some time to talk through improving watts per kilo, but how to fuel it. As this is a question I really get asked about a lot, is how to actually make those gains with power and fitness on the bike whilst then losing the weight at the same time. Many cyclists try to do this and they will find that they're either over fueling, under fueling, really struggling with energy levels, and just really stuck with how to actually, one, get the focus and structure there with the training, but two, then align the nutrition and fueling to go with that so that they can maximize the adaptations and the progress from the training whilst then being able to really lose the weight at the same time. And the area that I wanted to focus on more so today, I'm going to maybe try and do a few videos on this, but really is utilizing carbohydrates at the right time, as this is where I can also, or I often find the first stumbling block is with many cyclists, is they will want to increase that power to weight on the bike, but at the same time lose the weight. And because of that, they will try to then remove carbohydrates from their diet almost completely. And this will get to a certain point then where they do really then start to feel low in energy. And really, because if you are going to make that progress with your power and fitness, there is at some point going to need to be some high intensity work in your program or with the riding that you're doing. So with this could be in the form of some focused threshold interval training sessions, some focused VO2 max training sessions. So the threshold is really going to help your body's ability to tolerate that lactate, become more efficient at the threshold level there, which is also referred to sometimes as that functional threshold power. But also then, the VO2 max, so your body's ability to utilize that oxygen. And the more efficient we can make those systems, the more power you're going to be able to produce, the faster you're going to be able to climb, the faster you're going to be able to ride your bike, recover, and just be fitter, stronger, and more powerful on the bike. But as I say, the common mistake or the first stumbling block that I'm finding then is riders will be going to try to do those training sessions at those higher intensities. And because they've then removed the carbohydrates from their diet, because the myth out there, if you like, is carbs will, if you like, make you fat, or carbs won't allow you to lose weight if you eat carbohydrates. Because they're removing, if you like, that key energy source for the systems that we're trying to develop, that is where they're then finding that they're very quickly hitting a plateau, or they're really low in energy, because they're going into those key training sessions just finding that the energy isn't there. If there is, a set of intervals that's planned, it might be, 4 to 6 intervals, as I say, at threshold or VO2 max. What they're finding is they're completing the first interval, maybe the second interval, but by the time they get to the third or fourth interval, the legs are completely gone. There's no energy, really struggling to then complete the session. This is very frustrating. And as I say, you will then hit a plateau very quickly, and maybe even find that this is slowing you, obviously, with the power and fitness side of things, but also then the motivation to keep going with the weight loss side of things also then really takes a hit. So what I wanted to dive in today is just really a real quick, simple and easy framework, and see how you guys find this. And this is something that you can try. As I say, I've implemented this into our frameworks at My Cycling Coach with the nutrition and the fueling, and it's worked for many of the over 500 cyclists, as I've said, that we've worked with. I've also used this on my own personal journey over the past 10, 15 years, going from a rider of 92 kilos and an FTP of 225 watts to now a rider of 74 kilos and an FTP of around 370, 375 watts, and found that this has really served me well over the years. So just really the key is, as I say, if you're going to have some of those sessions in your program, so the threshold or VO2 max work, it's really looking at where you're going to perform those sessions in the day. So the first example or scenario I will use is many of our clients, they do train in the evening through the week after work. And what they're finding is, because they've been restricting carbohydrates through the day, as I say, they're getting in after a long day at work, getting on the bike, trying to do the session, and it's just all the wheels are coming off, it's falling apart. So here it's really looking at utilizing those carbs. So have some carbohydrates throughout the day. If you are training in the evening, where you want to start really having some of those carbohydrates, and I would recommend the amount that we found has really worked well over the past few years has been 1 to 1.5 grams of carbohydrate per kilo of body weight from the lunchtime to when you will then perform your session in the evening. So this could mean that, at lunchtime you want to focus on maybe the more complex carbohydrates as they're referred to, the more starchy based carbs is another way that they're referred to. So this could be at your lunch on that specific day when you have got a threshold or a VO2 max session planned, is having something along the lines of maybe a jacket potato, a pasta pot, some rice that you may have made up with something. It may even just be some wholemeal breads in a form of a sandwich, a baguette or something. But really just ensuring that at that lunchtime, you're getting some good sources of complex carbohydrates in. Really quick, simple and easy. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. As I say, just some of the easy examples there. It might just literally be a jacket potato, tuna pasta pot, some rice, some toast with something, really quick and easy examples. But what that's allowing you to do is just with your day-to-day nutrition is have some carbohydrates at that key time of the lunchtime, because what you're doing there is you're then topping up your muscle and liver glycogen. From lunchtime and through the afternoon, your body then has time, or your stomach has time to digest that, which can also really help with obviously when you get onto the bike, because you're not eating too close to your training session. You've actually had your lunch, the body's had time to digest through the afternoon. What you can then do, because if you are training at lunchtime and you're going into the evening and it's later in the evening, that is still quite a long time to actually then go without eating anything. So you can have your lunch, really focus on getting some good quality carbs in there. You can actually eat quite a lot of carbs, or the majority of that 1 to 1.5 grams of carbohydrate per kilo of body weight. And then from there in the afternoon, so let's say you have your lunch at 12 o'clock, later into the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock, maybe when you're just about finishing work or starting to pack up work or driving home, or obviously whatever your job may entail, whether it's in an office or you're out on the road, this could be any situation. But really it's just having another sort of higher carbohydrate snack. And some really quick and easy examples again there might be just a granola bar, energy bar, cereal bar, banana. You may even just make up one of your carbohydrate mixes in your bottle and just drink that when you're on your way driving back home from work, or you're finishing your work for the day or traveling back home. And that could be from anywhere between maybe 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And if you're then going to do your session at around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, as I say, the exact timings could be any time, but you can adjust this to depending on what your day is like. That is going to allow you to then just top up those carbohydrate levels again to ensure that you haven't gone 5 hours without eating anything. You've got your real good complex carbs in. You've topped up muscle and liver glycogen. You've had a bit of a top up later in the afternoon. You can then get on the bike and do your session. And because you've done that, you should really feel like you've had that energy there, or you have the energy there to get on the bike and have a good quality session. And then from during the session, you can actually then ensure that you're still having some carbohydrates there in fluid format, if it's maybe a shorter threshold or VO2 max session. The flip side of this then is that you may be somebody who trains at very early in the morning, has to get up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning to train before work during the week. Or this scenario can also be, you may find that it's your weekend riding that you're doing. So it might be a longer ride you're doing at the weekend, or it may even just be a shorter, higher intensity session again that you are doing at the weekend. And the flip side to this is rather than having the carbohydrates then at lunchtime, or having to get up, as I say, 1 to 3 hours before even starting your session at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is not practical, is to then split the carbs the evening prior. So let's say that you are getting up in the morning and you're doing your training session at 5 a.m. It's the meal of the evening prior where you want to focus on those carbohydrates, those complex carbohydrates that I mentioned in the other scenario. So it might be the evening prior, you will have something again like pasta, potatoes, rice, wholemeal breads, something along those lines, good complex sources of carbohydrates to top you up the evening prior. This will allow you to top up your muscle and liver glycogen overnight. And then in the morning, you can just wake up. Again, you might just make up a bottle of carbohydrate mix in the morning to have before your session, which is very easily drank to get some carbs in before you start. You may have a very small bowl of cereal, porridge or something if you feel like you really need something, or a banana, or again, an energy bar, a cereal bar. Some people, or some of the riders I've worked with, like just hit an energy gel before they get on. But because you've topped up really well the night before, it means you don't have to eat as much in the morning. You're really well fueled. You can get on the bike. You've got the muscle and liver glycogen in the legs, in the muscle tissue, in the liver, and you can get on and then have a really good quality session and then just move into your during ride fueling from there. The rest of the day then around these training sessions, or if it's a lower intensity training session and you are somebody who likes to go and do a bit of fasted riding, if it's anything to the sort of the top end of your zone 2 power and heart rate, then you can, do that. That's absolutely fine. And it is under 90 minutes in length. You can restrict carbohydrates at those times to get the training benefits, but also help with your weight loss if you feel that you don't want to have as much carbohydrates, because that is going to be detrimental to your weight loss. And it's really your meals, your nutrition and fueling around those examples that I've mentioned there that you can then restrict carbs or reduce carbohydrates. So we've obviously spoke a lot about pre-ride fueling there. So that's where you would maybe focus on the carbs. For the rest of your day or evening or just around that training session, that's maybe where you will then switch to a more higher protein focus, which is going to really benefit you anyway. Getting good source of minimum of 1.5 grams of protein per kilo of body weight is really going to support those adaptations that you're getting from the riding. And for the rest of the day, you could then keep it lean with the calories, or good quality calories, what I refer to as sometimes, just lots of fruits and lots of vegetables alongside that protein, which do also have some carbohydrates in as well, by the way, but not as much as maybe obviously the more complex and sort of simple or starchier based carbs with the scenarios that I say you want to target pre-ride. So post-ride, around your fueling and what I've mentioned there, or if it's a day where you're on a rest day, or you're just going out and you're doing an hour to 90 minutes really easy, you can then just reduce the carbohydrates there. But that is a framework that you can really use, as I say, whether it's later in the evening or in the morning, hitting the pre-ride fueling at the times that I've mentioned with the examples that I've mentioned, that will really allow you to just go into your sessions with more energy. And the more energy you can go into your sessions with, the better fueled, the better you're going to perform there, which means the quality of that session is going to improve. But it's going to make a massive difference. If you're going into sessions really low in energy and you're only completing 2 intervals, then you are going to very quickly hit a plateau, both with your power and fitness, but also maybe weight loss at the same time. So it's really being able to then actually, if you can go into your sessions, you're completing all of your intervals that are planned because you're well fueled, that's going to really mean that the quality of those sessions are going to improve. You're going to maximize what you're getting from those sessions, progress faster, ensure that you actually just continue to make progress and improve your watts per kilo, because you're seeing your power numbers, your fitness numbers are increasing, whilst then managing your day-to-day nutrition around that with a smart fueling to help you stay on track with any weight loss targets that you have at the same time. So yeah, just wanted to dive in, run through that one today. Lots of questions. If you found this video useful, as always, please drop a like on it, thumbs up on the video below, and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to do some more of these videos, the frameworks and nutrition and fueling that we've really implemented over the past 5 years now with, as I mentioned, hundreds of clients that we've helped go above 3 watts per kilo and beyond.